Can we write, shoot and edit a Star Wars film in only one day? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to Blues Armory, where today we are talking about my short little Star Wars film that I made. So to give you some context on this, I have been wanting to do more stuff with my costumes. I love making the costumes, but because we're so limited with conventions here in Dubai, I don't find many opportunities to get out in costume and do cool things. So about a month ago, I got together with some of the guys from work and we did this Daredevil short film, which you can see up here, and it's also on the channel as well. And that was super great, but I learned a lot from that in that we didn't really have an idea of what we were doing. I just wanted to show off the costume, and it required me to stay late overnight, do a lot of editing, get 2 people from work to help me, which was very generous of them to give my time. But I want to do more of this regular, and I don't want to have to constantly ask people for favors and figure out locations and timings where everyone's available. So I had this idea to come up with my own little Star Wars short film that could show off some of my Star Wars costumes while also being able to be done completely by myself and in a location that I had access to. So I got to work the other day and I wrote down a short idea for a Star Wars film. The idea was that we have this corrupt Imperial officer who is selling black market weapons to a Mandalorian. Something that could definitely happen in Star Wars, something that was pretty easy to put together and wouldn't require lots of locations or VFX or anything, because although I've been editing videos for a while, I am by no means an expert, and when it comes to VFX and all that kind of stuff, I just can't do it. So we put together the script and I thought, well, all I need really is a table, a top light, which I have, and just a location. So I thought if I closed the blinds and made this room, this office that I have, as black as possible, I thought we could sort of fake it off as a set or a room in Star Wars. So we wrote that out, blocked out the shots that I wanted to do, and then I went ahead with shooting it. So I think instead of me waffling on, we'll talk a bit after it, but here we go. Here is my Star Wars short film. Hello, so we're in the process of shooting this little short film I had an idea for, where I am all the characters involved and I'm also the production crew and I'm everything else. So the idea for this short film is that I wanted to shoot something fun, Star Wars related, but I had to do it within the limitations of what I could do in my office. I had this idea where it was an exchange of arms between a Imperial officer looking to make some extra credits and a Mandalorian who needed rearming. So we've just finished shooting all of the shots for the Imperial officer because that's the easiest one to do. And now we're doing all of the Mandalorian scenes, which means I need to kit up. Let's see what it's like. So there we go, that's the Mandalorian pieces done. Thank God I can get this costume off. We even had some props that I made. I made some Imperial credits for the film. I also slapdash put together this very quick and easy Imperial communicator so the Imperial officer can speak. In terms of shooting, well, we just shot in the office. We've got one Nan light 120 in as my light, and that's kind of it. So we're going to jump in to put this all together and hopefully it looks somewhat good.
Oh, you want to become a TIE Fighter pilot?
Mandalorian, you're late.
Is this not secure?
Yes, of course we're safe. The troopers are all mine. But you never know with the Empire. There's always someone looking to stand on your back to reach the next shelf. Right, weapons, that's what we're here for, of course. Right.
Let's see what you've got.
IB-94 handheld blaster, practically new with minimal modifications.
5-3, upper bay door. 5-3, upper designs and builds them. Standard fleet system.
No.
Okay, something different. DC-17 blaster with ion shot, a favourite of the Clone Wars.
517 scanner control. 517 to scanner control. 316 report to control. 5-3.
Too small.
Okay then, not to your liking. How about this? It's a DC-15A. Fast rate of fire, minimal recoil, and practically new condition. Which is astonishing because I pulled it out of a downed Venator on some backwater planet, Zepho or something, when I was setting up a research station there. In fact, this blaster, I believe, was a favourite of a certain clone battalion. Do you know, if it interests you, I'm actually quite the Clone Wars historian myself, and if you wanted to know, I could tell you some more about the...
I'll take it.
Oh, fantastic then. That'll be 700 credits. Imperial, please. I don't want to deal with any questions being asked.
Pleasure doing business with you. This is the way.
Captain Cordo?
Yes, sir.
There's a Mandalorian on the premises. He has something of mine. Retrieve it for me.
All right, men, load your weapon.
Pleasure's all mine. So there you go. Let me know what you thought of it. To give you some insight now that you've seen the film, let's talk about a few things in the film. Obviously, we were utilizing my Mandalorian costume and my Imperial Officer costume. Fun fact, I'm wearing both of those costumes only from the waist up because, one, putting on, I showed this last week, putting on the bottom half of my Mandalorian is a pain, and to be honest, the hardest part of my Imperial Officer is putting on the bottom half. So it's nice to not have to put them on. I knew if I shot from the waist up, I could shoot things quicker, I could get it all done quicker. In terms of props, we were utilizing props that I already had, so all the blasters like this that I had are blasters that I'd already made. I had a few of these Imperial credits. They are by no means perfect, but I had a few of them lying around, so I thought that would be a cool little prop to have. In terms of the screen that you can see behind the Imperial Officer, that is just my computer monitor that I found a YouTube video and put that on loop just in the background to give it some sort of character to the scene. And the only thing I made was this Imperial communicator. Now this is an atrocious print. I don't know if you can see from here, but it looks atrocious. It's not good. The print is rough. It's not actually connected together. In fact, there are bloopers where I did a scene with it and it just fell apart. Pleasure's all mine. But it kind of worked for the scene, and because you got it in a gloved hand and you're talking into it, it's really good. I wanted to add in as many sound effects and ambience of Star Wars as I could find, and that probably took me the longest time to create that like Star Wars background ambience, getting the Stormtrooper sounds, getting the TIE fighter flying outside and all that, and just mixing that all together. And then the final step was doing the Mandalorian dialogue. Now, I recorded the Mandalorian dialogue just with a cheap microphone I had plugged into the computer. And it sounded all right. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world. And probably like the day I shot it, I showed it to one of my really good friends, Aun, who is a music producer and sound engineer and musician and just overall musically sound genius. And he said to me, well, why don't you just come to the studio today and we'll re-record it and I'll make it sound like a Mandalorian. So of course I couldn't say no to that. So we went by his studio and in about 10-15 minutes re-recorded all the lines, did some ADR. He added all the effects, then packaged it together, and that was my film. Pretty much. I finished the edit. There are loads of things I could still do with this film, but I'm pretty happy with it. And I really, really want to get into more and more of this, using these costumes to do stuff creatively. I, again, love making these costumes and I love wearing them, but we don't get to do it a lot in Dubai because we have one major convention a year and we just don't get the chance. So the same with the 501st. We're not like the States for the 501st where you could have an event, or even the UK where you could have an event every weekend. You know, we might, only get 4 or 5 events over the year. So we don't get to be in these costumes as much as possible. So I really want to push for the rest of the year to try and do like it doesn't have to be long and it doesn't need to be grand. I just need like a 2-minute little sketch, and it's so fun to just live in that Star Wars universe. So if this is something you like, let me know, and we'll look at sort of creating some more of these little Star Wars vignettes that I'm going to call them. But that will do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video and this style of video. I've got some great videos planned and coming up. I'm just waiting for some things to arrive. So please do get subscribed. Also, I never usually ask this, but I'm so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. And if you have enjoyed any of my content over the last sort of 6-7 months, then please just drop me a subscribe. I just want to hit that milestone, not necessarily because it's monetization, just mainly because it's a massive milestone for me, and I really want to hit there. And I think my content is going from like pretty middling content to getting to like pretty decent content that I'm happy with. Anyway, ramble over. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Have a great week ahead. Happy crafting. Goodbye.